Hey, 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 hey.
Where your music at?
I know I need some music. Don't I hear the theme song?
Have some tunes in the background. Blue Tulip should be playing in the background.
Facts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we ain't gonna have that now, but eventually, as we build the channel up, we're gonna get some things in there. We are live, live, live. So we are on. So what's your story? For those who do not know, my name is Shayna Shane, aka the Travel Marina. I am a travel agent, and I also have a podcast that dives deep into your ancestral journey. So I asked a few mini celebrities, is what I call them, about their history, their family life. And today I have Miss Mecca Joy on. Woo, woo, woo. And me and Mecca are really good friends, but I just realized I do not know your history. Like, I never asked you, like, where you came from, like, different things. So today is like the perfect day.
Get it all out.
Yeah, just get it all out.
Look,
Please do not filter yourself. Just be yourself. And if some things come out that your family members might be upset about, that's on you.
look, they'll get over it. All
So
right.
can you start off with letting me know like your name and just a little brief synopsis of what you do?
Okay. So my name is Mecca. I like to be called Mecca Joy. However, my maiden name is Mecca Mitchell. That's my father's last name is Mitchell. And then Mecca Benson is my married name. I was married for a little bit and I still carry his name even though we're no longer married. Currently, I am a full-time entrepreneur. I own my own small marketing and graphic design business. And I help small businesses with graphics, photography, website design, and as well as getting, I guess, registered to do business with the government as well. So that's
Okay.
kind of a little bit what I do.
That sounds like things a lot of people need. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So at the end of this, I am gonna ask you like how people can reach you and stuff like that if they want to do business. But right now, I would like to know where did you, where were you born? Where
Okay.
did you grow up? Um and if you have any siblings.
Yes. So I was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's where I grew up until I grew up there. I was at 11, we moved to California. I was there for about a year and a half. Then we moved back to Pittsburgh. And then we moved here. So at 13, I moved here, I think 1992 is when we moved to Delaware, and I've been in Delaware ever since.
Okay. And how many siblings do you have?
Oh, I have I have three siblings. I have a brother and a sister on my mom's side, and then I have a brother on my dad's side.
Okay. And are you guys close? Like, are y'all close in age? Did y'all grow up together?
Me and my sister and brother are really close. My brother on my dad's side, we were really close when he was alive, but he since passed away. He had cerebral palsy, so
Mm.
all his life he was never able to move, talk, or anything. But it's funny when I see, well, not funny, but when I see other individuals who have those types of diseases, and people are like, "Oh, well, they can't think for themselves." He very much so could think for himself. He could tell you what he wanted and all of that. He just couldn't verbalize it, unfortunately. But my sister and brother, we're very, very close. It's funny, we have a group text that we kind of utilize every day, whether it's sending memes or saying little smart shit. We communicate almost every day with each other. So yeah, I would say we're very close.
Okay. What's the age difference? Like,
I'm
you don't
five
have to
years
show. Okay.
I'm 5 years older than them. So I'm 45. My sister just turned 40. And then my brother, he's a year younger than her. So he's like 38, 39. I think he just turned 39. Yeah.
Got you, got you. So you all grew up in a single parent household
Yes.
or? Okay.
Yes, we grew up with my mom. I was like the parent for a long time because I was the oldest. Being the oldest, you kind of take on the motherly duties. But yeah, we grew up together with my mom, and it was just us.
Got you. So, how would you say that upbringing was like? Would you say it was a struggle? Were you guys like middle class? Were you
I was poor.
poor? She
Look,
said, girl, she said, forget all that. We was poor.
we was poor. I mean, definitely now as an adult, when I look back, I don't think I felt it as much as a child. When you watch TV and stuff like that, you'd be like, oh, I wish I could have, or I wish so. I think then as a child, not being able to have the things that I wanted, definitely let me know that things were different. But yeah, growing up, we grew up poor. It wasn't like poor where we had roaches and rats and stuff like that. We had to drink share milk and stuff. It wasn't that
Yeah.
poor, because I've heard stories that let me know like we was kind of like poor middle class.
Okay.
I mean, if there's level to poorness, because I mean, at the end of the day, when you hear stories of other people, you be like, so there. I feel like there is levels to poor. I feel like we ate good, we had clothes, we lived in a decent environment, or house. It wasn't horrible. Um, but we just didn't have, all the things that I would have liked to have had as a child or as a teenager.
Okay. So I see that you mentioned, you were like the mother figure to your siblings. Was your mom like always at work or?
So yeah, my mom was at work, but she also was into the streets too. So my mom sold drugs, and she was into the streets. So I was the caretaker, I would guess I would say. Um, and those things like she would work nights too. For I think there was a period of time where she bartended, so she worked nights. So during the day, I would have to clean up and take care of my sister and brother and wash dishes or cook or whatever. I was young when I learned how to cook and clean and stuff like that. So um, that's what I did.
Around what age would you say this started?
Probably like 8.
Jeez, I thought you was about to say 13 or something.
No, it's funny. Recently there was a story online that was about an 8-year old who took the car and went and with a pocket full of money and went to
Oh
Target.
yeah, I heard that.
We laughed because everybody said that would have been me. Um,
Oh
we
wow.
have a story when I was 8 years old. My mom had went through like domestic violence with my sister and brother's dad. And one day I took them, my mom was asleep. I put them in a stroller out, and mind you, we had like those double strollers. They
Mhm.
were still in the stroller, so they had to be really young. They say I would say they say I know I did it. But I put them in the twin stroller. Um, took the bus. Mind you, at the time we lived in Pittsburgh, so I took the bus from our house in Greenway, where we lived at, and took it to my grandma's house, who lived in St. Clair Village, which is like going from Wilmington to, I say, down 40 at like,
Jeez.
yeah, it was far. It was like going to a whole nother town on the bus. And the crazy thing, I was like 8 or 9 and nobody stopped me. Nobody was like, where's your parent at or anything. So I'm at my grandma's house for hours with me, my brother, and my sister. And she's like, where's your mom? Like, when's your mom coming to get y'all? Like, what's going on? Come to find out, she calls my mom. My mom is screaming, all upset. She's thinking their dad kidnapped us.
Mm.
Meanwhile, I then went to my grandma's house because that was like my safe haven. So yeah,
Oh.
went to grandma's house. Crazy,
Oh Lord, sound like she got stories for days.
crazy.
So, how would you say that how you grew up, how it shaped you today?
Um, how I grew up shaped me today. Um, I don't know. I feel like how I grew up definitely let me know that I don't want to live that. poor lifestyle. I wish that I would have worked harder. I do feel like I let life and that
Mm-hmm.
comfortableness in that life. Um, I think I was stuck there for a little bit, but I feel like I've had to realize, like, hold up, that's not real. Like, you create that life for yourself by not doing stuff, by not applying yourself, by not starting businesses, by just pretty much, I feel like by giving up on life and just, being sedentary. And I think seeing that and living that, I try to make sure that every day I'm getting up and doing stuff. I want to just live a more exciting lifestyle than what I experienced as a child. And I want to give that to my children as well.
Okay, let's reel that in. Let's reel that in. So, you said you was married for a brief moment. How long were you married?
I was married from 2001 to 2022. Was when we were
Woo!
divorced.
How long was that?
Like 20 years, something like that. Yeah, I got
That's
married when
a
I was
long
21.
time.
Yeah, I got married when I was 21, and then we separated in 2015, and we tried to work it out several years, and then finally I filed for divorce, and we're still cordial, but it is what it is.
So, a divorce after that long of a time, did it have any bearing like on your kids? Like, did you see any changes in them?
I think so. I think so. I feel like they're not the same kids they were before the divorce. Their personality, I feel like their personalities changed. A lot of things have changed just from the experience of it. I think definitely changed them. Um, they we've talked about it, but I feel like you live and you learn, and all you can do is do better. And that's what I try to do better as a parent now.
That's right. Is there anything that you would change, like in that relationship? Like, would you have ended it sooner, or would you have tried to stay on longer, or you don't know what's up yet? Or
To be honest, I wish I would have ended it immediately. Like, I probably wouldn't even have kids now. I really do.
hey,
Because there was a lot of red flags prior to us ever having kids. And I just think at that time I was young, and I'm just like, oh, well, I can give it a shot, and oh, it's not that bad. And it was a lot of stuff that I could have avoided. And now looking back, yeah, I would have left way sooner, um, and been done a long time ago.
would you do it again?
That no.
You don't have to be the same person.
I love my husband still. However, would I do that? I would do marriage again. But again, I feel like I'm still learning myself. There's things that I'm still learning that I want in a relationship or don't. I don't know if the typical relationship is what I want, because I'm learning to enjoy my time, you know what I mean? And I enjoy my alone time, and having another person in that, it's
Yeah.
kind of like
Get
kind
you.
but I like having somebody in my space, but also all the time it's kind of scary. So
All the time.
all the time,
He's gonna be right here the whole time. So,
like, you want to see me again?
so that just actually reminded me. I skipped this step. Um, you said single parent mom. What about your father?
My dad, so I grew up with my dad up until we moved to Pittsburgh. My dad and so my dad was a heroin addict all his life. His mom and dad died when he was young. So I think he was like 8 or 9 when his mom and dad died. And his older sisters, who had their own families, they took care of him. but he just continued like pretty much raised himself. And so they had me. I think my mom was 22, my dad was 26. He still was a heroin addict. I remember she told me a story about how when I was born, he had went on a binge after I was born because during my labor he was like going through withdrawal, and he stayed until I was born. And she said, as soon as he held me, fell in love, gave her back, and it was gone for days, So, but over the years, I've learned to just accept that that was a part of his life and his journey. And I just thank God that I've never gone down that journey myself.
Um, do y'all keep in touch? Like,
He passed away. Yeah, he passed away. I think it's been about 10 years. He died from, I think it was like liver cancer. It was like real sudden. From what I understand, he knew, he just never told anybody. And then he had an accident. And the good thing is I was able to go down there. We were able to talk, me apologize, him apologize. And we really, just me and him together, no girlfriends, wives, or anything. We had a really good heart to heart. And I wish that I would have let go of just that. Well, he's a drug addict, and oh, he don't call me, and all of those things. I just wish I would have just put in a little bit more effort when he was here, because those things they really didn't matter. And I know my dad loved me, I just didn't. I just was in my own shit, So
so is there anything that any of your parents instilled in you that you still, go by, now, like as a motto for life?
definitely. I guess this comes from them. You do the crime, you do the time. Like straight up, one thing I remember when I got in trouble as a kid, there was never a thought in my mind to snitch or tell on somebody or mention somebody's name. It was just always, you do the crime, you do the time. And like it's crazy. Like people go to court and people like, well, Mecca, you can fight that. I'm like, but I did it. And they're like, but you can fight it. I'm like, but I did it. I just feel like, I get it, but I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna be like, not guilty, but I'm really guilty. I mean,
Lord.
but for so my mom taught me that, you do the crime, you do the time. Being compassionate and loving is definitely one thing that I noticed, despite whatever we were going through. I remember one time we had a fire in our apartment building, and we were standing at the bus stop. My mom always wore like these long coats. And if you know anything about Pittsburgh is really cold.
Mhm.
And she we were standing at the bus stop and we were singing Lean on Me
Uh,
inside of her coat as little kids. So it's like, we always had that love. And I think that's like one of the things that I pride myself on with my family. It's just loving on the people that love on me. And that makes me feel good. So
that's, so would you say like your family is estranged or they're very close? And I'm not talking about just your immediate family. I'm talking about extended family as well.
on my mom's side, I would say that we're pretty close. I feel like we probably could be closer, but for the most part, like one of my aunts is going through, I think she's going through chemo. So I've been sending her like a card every week. I'm kind of late on the week right now, but I bought a whole bunch of cards. I put stamps on them, and every week I just put one out the door and send it off because she let us know in a group text that she loves that. I try to reach out to family, sometimes I'll say often, but sometimes I slack up and I don't. So but I won't say we haven't spoken in years. No,
Okay.
it would maybe months or a few weeks. So on both sides, my dad's side, and there's a couple aunts that are on my dad's side that I keep in touch with that are older. So I try to do as much as I can, but and thank God for Facebook and stuff like that. That definitely helps with
Sure.
keeping in touch with. If that's the case, I speak to everybody every day. So,
So you don't want to be the only one trying to keep in touch either. They gotta reach out too.
well, I realized that at the end of the day, life's too short. If my aunt Mary pops in my head, I'm going to try to call her if I remember to make, put in that effort.
Hmm.
I learned that with my dad, that forget if you call me, I call you. You know what I mean? Like if you
Right.
love them
Gotta
and you
take,
want to
yeah.
talk to them and you love them in your life, reach out.
Go
Don't
ahead.
don't think about all the other stuff. It don't matter.
Y'all heard it first.
Reach out to your loved ones. You
Reach
never
out.
know. They might be going through something and they can't reach out. So I say
Fact.
reach out.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So, do you know anything about your ancestral ancestry history?
A little bit. A little bit. Um, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, what can you tell me? Where you think your roots are from?
So I know like my family comes from North Carolina, my granddad's side. So that's the crazy thing is my grandmom's side, it stops with my great grandma. Like
Okay.
my mom's, she's trying to send me, she did a thing for ancestry.com. Um, and she has like all the family and stuff like that. But for some reason, it's like my grandmom's side stops at my great grandma. And it's funny because she looks like she may be Indian, not like Asian Indian, but Indian, like Native American Indian. But my grandma, she could pass for white. Um, so the history, I know like a little bit, but I'm still learning and digesting a lot of it. Um, I know my grandma was from Philadelphia. They moved from different places. I know when I was young, I tried to ask my great grandma about stuff, and she was really, really tight-lipped. And then, like, I asked aunts and stuff, and they try to give you some stuff, but I don't know, like, whether we're slaves or we were born free. That far, I don't know, and I am definitely working on finding that out because good thing my mom has been doing like DNA testing and stuff like that. Like she found out like she's pretty much European. So
What's the
she's like
percentage?
she's like 70%. She's like really, really high, 50%.
Okay.
It's really, really high. So I think she probably was like one of the in house slaves. We have a Facebook group and it's crazy. So one of I think this is my great grandfather. They have I'm actually looking at it on here on Facebook, but it's
Mhm.
his certificate of death from the North Carolina State Board of Death. It's like from 17 something.
Dang, 17? That's good.
And hold on,
Does
um,
it say cause of death?
1918. No, maybe I'm not
I'm
saying.
like, dang,
Look,
she got four,
look.
1700.
No, because look, it do say 17 something up here, but maybe it's not. Okay. It says, I'm trying to expand it so I can see. So it
She,
says
she
date
got the bootleg
of
version.
death, September 27th. It looks like 1918.
Okay.
That was his date of death. He was married. But it's crazy because they're saying, like, I was, reading some of the things in the Facebook group. They're saying that he was Jewish. So his name was Ishmael Hyman. So
Interesting.
that's on and it says he was a farmer. He owned a farm in North Carolina. So it doesn't say he was a slave. It says he owned the farm.
Farmer.
So that's that when I hear stuff like that, knowing like even my granddad, he owned his own barbershop. So it's like, as me as an entrepreneur, seeing that, my Aunt Phyllis was a singer, like entrepreneurship is in my blood,
Sure.
so seeing stuff like this just makes it like, solidifies it for me. Like it's in
Mhm.
love.
I like to look on there for the cause of death too, because then sometimes you can see like if there's diseases that run in your family and stuff from
Yes, it says
ancestors.
cause of death. It says something nephritis, nephritis.
Oh, we're gonna have to look that one up.
Yeah. Because you can't, somebody, how somebody write in cursive, so you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
really
Hard to
see what
read. Yeah.
yeah, it looked like an HO something IE. So I don't know, but yeah, we definitely have to check that out and see.
What did it say was the race on there?
Date of birth unknown.
They was
It
cutthroat in those
says
days. Black,
color.
white. They
They
say
say
color.
color. Mm-hmm.
Well, he was black.
That's what
Well,
it.
on the outside appearance, we don't know,
Yes.
any
Yes.
information.
But yeah, that, I mean, it's in. I mean, when you look at the picture, I mean, you know, yeah,
Yeah.
but
But I
it's.
like to do, I like to ask people to, go on a trip to these places. You've been to North Carolina?
I have, but not here. I would love to go see the farm that he owned and all of that stuff.
Definitely write down the farm name or whatever information you can get.
Yes.
And let's go.
Yeah. Road trip, road trip, road trip.
So, is there anything about your upbringing that really took a toll on you, but not a lot of people knew about it? Like outwardly, you never expressed it.
Um, my Aunt Phyllis's death. Um, Growing up with, I guess, a famous aunt. Sometimes sometimes I never really told people about it, especially now that she's gone. It doesn't bother me to talk about it. But before, when she was alive, I really never talked about it, just because I didn't want people to like be my friend because of it. Because people would hear, they'd be like, "Oh, oh," they start questions, and then it's just like, that's
Girl,
still his
bye.
niece. Every time I go out with them, that's still his niece. That's be like, they must be infatuated with my aunt. So growing up and seeing that, like I feel like when she passed away, I kind of had like a rebellious moment. I didn't attend her funeral. It was just a lot. I think it was just a lot going on at that time. And that was definitely one of the things, hearing it on the radio, people talking about it, and just never really asking like, "Hey, or how you feel? Are you okay?" Because I felt like we were close. There were songs that I know 100% she created because of our conversations. You know what I'm saying? So to know that we had those conversations, and to hear the songs and hear her rapping on the song, and it's like, so it's like, all of that, and to know that I never really, had a chance to talk to her, or, nobody's ever, that's the first time I feel like anybody's ever asked me that question about that. And to know that that's definitely, just been in the back of my head, never being able to say goodbye to her, wanting to know why she did it. We all could assume, but then, I kind of have my conspiracies, because that was mine. So,
Oh.
but that's
You
near
gonna tell us about them conspiracies?
conspiracies. Um,
What you think? What you was thinking?
so I kind of think that, I mean, I was young, so I was probably like 14, 15 when she passed away. But I kind of think that she was sad. But recently I was wondering, maybe what if somebody put something in her, kind of made it look like she was suicidal, because come to find out people were stealing from her and like all this stuff. And now, if a person doesn't do an autopsy, a person could be cremated and boom, she was cremated. Like, we never know yes, because she had a history of depression, it's easy for us to assume that she killed herself.
Yeah. Right.
But if she had this person who was in charge of everything, and then who was treated badly by her and may have been in love with her, and then she's like crying over this man and this woman is in love with, like, there's so many things in my head that it could have, who's to say that she did commit suicide? I mean, we don't know. I never seen a suicide note. I mean, I do think that there was one. I believe that my family has talked about there being one, but I have never seen it myself. I've never really heard of, people like say what was in there. So I don't know. That's just my thing. I don't know. I don't know.
You
That's
gonna have your family on here.
look.
That's not what happened.
Look, listen, I don't know. I was telling one of my family members recently, and they like, I don't know, Mecca. I'm like, man, I mean, when I watch old videos of her, and I don't know. I just think that was so easy. If she was not unalive, if she was unalive and not at her own hands, I think that it's an easy cop out and say, oh, she committed suicide. I think it's the easy cop out. And with no one investigating to say anything different, because you find pills, you can be like, oh, it is what it is. I don't know. I just think love triangle, and I mean, come to find out, the lady was stealing money and all types of stuff. So to know that now, it's like, why wouldn't she have done that? If she was to keep everything, she had her whole estate. She didn't never gave nothing to my family from my aunt's estate. So to know that, and to know that she just quietly gave it back. You know what I'm saying? Even after you stole thousands of dollars, you just quietly gave it back. And nobody's like, did you
She's
kill
still
her?
around?
I think the lady's still alive. Yeah. The lady's still alive. But it's like,
You ain't gotta say her name, but
I
what's
don't
her
know
name
her.
so I can look it up?
I don't know, but I asked my aunt what's her name. And I think she was her lawyer or something, but she was, somebody that was really close to her. And obviously she had her had rights to her estate, and now my family now has her estate. Recently my cousin got a lawyer and was able to gain the rights to her estate back. So now my family has her estate and royalties and stuff like that. But I just think now it's like, can't be investigated. You just quietly gave it back. That just, for me, is just like,
Yeah,
it's
we
suspicious.
very
What do you think?
watching Law and Crime and all that. So yeah.
I think that's why it's so suspicious. Because I definitely, I don't know, and you never know. That could be a book that I write. My Conspiracy of Phyllis Hyman.
That sounds like a bestseller.
Look, I got details, family secrets.
Yeah. So
Look,
this is a question that I ask all my guests.
yes.
What would you like your legacy to be?
What would I like my legacy to be? Um, Recently I got, I guess, a better understanding what a legacy is. And your legacy is like 100, 200 years down the road. Um, One thing is, I want them to know that I created a foundation for them to grow and to learn. God willing, I'm able to, well, not God willing, but we'll be creating a financial backing that, will, God willing, sustain 100, 200 years. But just knowing that I cared enough to create a legacy, that I cared enough to want my grandchildren and great grandchildren to succeed in life and to have a better life. I think that that's what I want my legacy to be, is that I cared enough for there to be a legacy. So.
Okay, okay. So, how can people reach you if they want to do business with you? I don't know if you want any new friends. Let them know what's up.
Good vibes only. Good vibes only. I like tree huggers and hammocking. Like, if you like those things, come follow me. No. Um, you can follow me on several places. If you love to meditate and cool stuff like that, you can follow me at Rich Girl Meditation, RICHGIRL Meditation. That's on Instagram. If you're interested in business, you can follow me at MJ Biz Consulting, and that's BIZ Consulting. And if you like photography, you can follow me at Dopepix, DOPEPIXX, on all on IG, Mecca Joy on TikTok. But yeah, you can follow me everywhere, find me everywhere, and pull up. Just good vibes only. Good vibes.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on, Mecca
Thanks for
May.
having me.
I appreciate you. So, I'm excited for you to learn more about your ancestral journey.
Yes, me too. I can't wait to dig a little deeper. I have made an account on ancestry.com. And just I really want to find out about my dad's side. Because all I know is my grandmom's name. And I want to know more. And they just be so tight-lipped.
Listen, when you start being on your journey of searching, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I done spent 40 hours trying to do it. Can somebody got any answers? You're going to be digging.
Listen, I've been digging for the last couple years. It started a couple years ago, and I haven't gotten that far. But I'm learning that there's technology, and there's things that's happening that, God willing, I kind of want to do that DNA, because I wonder if my dad had other kids. Like maybe he got pregnant with a girl and she didn't like his lifestyle, and she just said, I'm keeping this baby and I'm not going to tell him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really feel like I have a brother or sister out there like that.
Probably do.
And I want to find them. So, I just be scared, because, there are those things where they be like, oh, you do the DNA and they're going to take your, I don't know. But
What they gonna do?
I,
Like,
I don't know. I
I
don't know.
did mine.
You did
I'm a little
yours?
I'm confused about mine. I'm gonna have somebody interview me about that. But
Well, look, I'll
yeah.
interview you about that. Look. I do. I do want to know. And just knowing where I come from, knowing my blood, because as an African American or as a Black person, they're always just putting you in this category of African. I don't know if my family comes from Africa. You know what I'm saying? I would like to know if I was a free American, or if my family was slaves American, you know what I mean? Or if I was not even from this country. I would really love to know that. I see how sometimes when I meet Africans and they know each other and they're both from Zambia or something, and they see each other and they're like, oh, that's a brace.
Oh my god.
They connected. It's like I love
Listen,
seeing that, and I
you
would
gotta
love.
get yours done. I'm trying to tell you. Like, I know that my family's from Nigeria, the African side. So I definitely want to go there.
Yes.
And they tell you like what tribe you may have been a part of. So I mean, they'll give you some type of information.
Well, maybe we can do that as an episode on your show when I order that DNA test. We can take it and send it off, and we can open it up on your show. That'd be something we could do if you're with it.
Yep, I'm all down. I'm all down.
All right, all right. Well, thank you for having me, and I can't wait to see this episode.
Thanks again. Adios.
Adios.
All right.